friends, and welcome to SermonLink. It's so good to see you. I have taken a nice break, a week of vacation, and I feel so refreshed and just ready to be back at work with you. And I'm happy to share that SermonLink with you. Today we're looking at the Gospel of Matthew, and it's a little bit of a larger passage. The preacher for this Sunday will preach on the passage Matthew 11:16 through 19 and 25th through 30. But for our purposes today, I'm just going to read Matthew 11:25 through 30. So let us hear these words together. At that time, Jesus said, I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this is what you were pleased to do. All things have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all who you weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Friends, I think these last words are especially striking to me and probably to you as well. Just this whole idea of the burdens that we carry in our lives, the responsibilities that we carry for ourselves, but then the burdens that we care for our families, for our neighborhoods, for our communities, and just this striking image of a yoke that Jesus is talking about here. And a yoke, I actually had to look this up a little bit. I kind of imagine what that is, but as we know, not many of us live in the farmer society. We lives in the suburbia or the cities, so we're kind of far away from yokes. So a yoke is a large piece of wood which connects two oxen to each other, right? So they can plow or tow something together. So it's this kind of a heavy wooden thing that placed on the shoulder to accomplish some sort of work. And so what an amazing image that Jesus gives us here. Take my yoke upon me and learn from me. And traditionally we know the yoke is being a Christ follower, right? Doing and accomplishing the work that God does. And as I was doing some research on this passage, and especially on the yoke, because it just so striking to me, I came across this very interesting article on the website of a Taizé Society. As you know, it's a society in France where they do a lot of prayers and a lot of social work. And on that article, it was sort of like a meditation that was based on this theme and on this passage. They talked about how this is putting the yoke of Christ with Christ. It's entering that partnership with Christ together. And we know of all the work that needs to be accomplished here in this world. We know it. It's all around us. And we know especially now with issues of racial justice, there kind of been open our eyes to that, right? And so when sometimes some of us can feel a bit overwhelmed, when we're especially thinking about trying to do something, trying to do some change, trying to learn, and I found myself as well a bit overwhelmed with the information that comes, and the list of the things that we all can do to support all brothers and sisters and siblings of color in our country and in our world. But what helps me here is that the yoke that we put on, that Jesus puts on, Jesus walks beside us. And then we do that work, right? Plowing or kind of towing things ahead. We can do it together as partners. And so that the yoke, the burden, that it will not feel as heavy because we'll do it together with Christ. And Jesus says that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And then the other point that really struck me as well in the same article is that we can carry the burdens of each other, and that the gospel gives us amazing possibility through the work of Christ, through partnering with Christ, sharing the burdens of one another in our communities, in our families, in our churches, in our whole world. And so, friends, this is where my heart is, and I hope this is where your hearts are. Do not feel discouraged, do not feel overwhelmed by everything that comes in, but when we come under the yoke with Christ, we know that we can accomplish the work that He puts in front of us. So this is my hope. This is our blessing of being together in this faith. And I hope you enjoy your weekend. Have a blessed evening. Thanks so much for tuning in, and give us a like. Subscribe to our channel, our social media channels. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.